Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe in this lockdown period. Just thought I'd put together a video on strength exercises, which is a kind of follow-up to the flexibility exercises which I put up last week. First off, I hope you found those exercises useful, quite easy to follow, and you'll get a little bit out of them. Just to recap on kind of the differences between flexibility and strength. So if we don't have the flexibility or range of motion which we need in our joints, then we're going to be unable to kind of get either that little bit more range out of our backswing, or the follow through is going to be compromised because the stiff joint is holding us back. So it's really important to kind of increase the flexibility, but then on the flip side to that, we need to then add the strength component to the muscles. So if we've got a great range of movement, but then the muscles aren't maybe firing in the right way, or they're just not strong enough, or they don't have the endurance to, go 18 holes, then we're going to have to work on that side of it. So the exercises I'm going to run through today are going to cover shoulder, upper back muscles, really important for good posture and obviously power. And then I'm going to cover some exercise based around strengthening the glutes primarily, which should hopefully add a bit of yardage to the golf swing, which is always an added bonus. So the first exercise I'm going to run through is how to warm up the rotator cuff muscles and the muscles between the shoulder blades. The rotator cuff is a set of muscles which helps to stabilize the shoulder joint. And basically, if the rotator cuff is strong and works well, it allows the big global movers such as the deltoid to work more efficiently. So really important muscle in terms of basically safe practice with a golf swing. So best way to start off by doing that is to lie onto your front. So we're going to start with what's called T's. So we're going to lie onto your front. And then if you want to, you can put a cushion underneath your forehead just to relax there. Otherwise, if you want to hover the head a couple of inches, that's going to help train some of the neck muscles as well. So you can take your arms so you look like a T, and then just keep the palms facing down, and then you're going to lift the arms up, but we're trying to initiate the movement from your shoulder blades. So it's actually quite hard work going against gravity to start with, but if you ever want to progress this on, tin of beans in the hands or small weight. So we're going to go for about 10 movements here, and you're not trying to force the movement here. If you get any shoulder problems here, shoulder pain, then the next two I'm going to show might be a bit better to start with. So 10 repetitions there. Next one, you're going to take your hands next to your hips. So there's two parts of this. You can either do it with your palms up, then I'm going to get you to try with your palms down. So it just switches the muscle which you're working slightly. So if we go with the palms up, and then we're going to try and retract the shoulder blades together. And you should feel like you get the shoulders to open up and the shoulder blades to squeeze. So the focus of the movement is almost trying to squeeze the blades down towards the back pocket. Good, so we're not doing that movement. We're doing that movement, trying to keep the head kind of as still as possible. After 10, take a breather. If you need to, 30 seconds. Otherwise, you're going to turn the palms flat down, and you're not going to get as much range of movement out of this exercise. So I want you to try and peel the thumbs away from the floor, and then retract the shoulders again. So this concentrates more primarily on the muscles on top of the shoulder blade, which laterally rotate or turn your arms outwards. So it's a really good one to warm everything up. So we're going to try and get through 10 of those. And then probably if you can, I would try 2 sets. So 10 in the T, and then 10 in these 2 I positions. The other thing I should note is that if you're lying onto your front, if you're getting any problems in your lower back, then just pop a cushion underneath here so your back doesn't arch down, it just tilts it back a bit. Right, so next exercise we're going to concentrate on is going a little bit more into the rotator cuff muscles. So we warmed them up in the previous one, and now we're going to go into them a little bit more in depth. So if you haven't already, I would recommend getting one of these resistance bands. You can get them pretty cheap online. I'll post a link below this video which just takes you to Amazon. The key thing with the rotator cuff muscles is that they don't need huge amounts of weight in order to strengthen them. In fact, if you use too much weight, the deltoids will then take over. So I'm using kind of a medium to a light resistance band here, green one to start with. So what you're going to do is get the band, you're going to grab it shoulder width apart, just between the thumb and the index finger, and then you're going to make a fist so that when you take the arms out wide, you're getting the full width on the band. You want to start with your elbows 90 degrees and tucked into the side. So quite useful tip is just imagine you're on a golf ball between your elbows and your side and you didn't want to let it drop. So once you've got 90 degrees with the arms, nice tall posture, look straight ahead, and then you're going to take the arms out to the side. Yeah, try and keep those elbows tucked in. If you're getting any problems in terms of shoulder pain towards the end of the range, then don't take it quite so far. And the idea is we're going for about 10 repetitions with this, almost squeezing the shoulder blades together at the back. And once you've done 10, I recommend 2 or 3 sets. So the next exercise we're going to work on again is going to concentrate on the muscles between your shoulder blades, your rhomboid muscles which help to retract the arm back. And also deltoids, rotator cuff. So you're going to grab the same band you've been using for the other exercises. Good start position is we're going to come with the arms shoulder width apart, grab the band in the same way as you did before, make a fist. It's important to set the shoulders here, so we're not going to start the shoulders rounded or set too far back. We're going to try and go halfway in between, and then I like to just soften the knees a bit, almost like you're kind of in that start setup position for a golf swing. And then from there, you're going to take both arms out and see if you can end up just underneath the chin, and then take the arms back in. So it's quite important with this one, you're not letting the arms snap back in from that position. You're going to try and keep the control throughout, and we're going to go for 5. So that's 4. The 5th one there. Again, we're keeping knees softened. See if you can then stabilize your left arm. Both arms and elbows are locked out here. And then you're going to try and take your right arm out to the side again, keeping it nice and straight. So it's important here to try and keep the hips pointing straight ahead, and then we're going to encourage a little bit of thoracic rotation as well, which mimics that first part of the backswing. So we're going to go for 5. You should be able to start to feel this quite quickly. Okay, good. So you can hold that there. You're going to stabilize the right arm this time, and then we're going to take that left arm out to the side. So it puts a bit of a stretch into the chest here as well. Good. So we're going to try and really keep everything still. Keeping your core switched on here, rib cage shouldn't be flared up too much. After that 5th one, you're going to take your breather, shake everything off, and then try 2 sets of that. Right, so the next exercise we're going to go through a very golf specific exercise. So we're going to try and mimic the backswing phase of a golf swing and also the follow through. But we're going to do it by adding some resistance using the band again. So if you're a right-handed golfer, you're going to start with the backswing first. So you put your left foot on the band, and then you want to just kind of adopt your normal setup, just try and soften the knees a bit, try not to let the back round come up a bit, and then you can grab the band however you want. You can actually make a bit of a golf swing or a golf grip with it, so it's quite good to do. Grab the band, and then we want to try and control the movement up and also on the way back down. So if we're going to the top and then we're just letting the hand snap back in, you're not going to be getting that full strength out of the muscles, so we want control in both directions. Again, should be feeling like we're keeping the hips pointing straight ahead, and then we start to get a little bit of rotation out through the thoracic spine towards the end. We're going to go for about 10 movements. You can play around the angles, you can take it back quite steep, or you can take it back a little bit more shallow, just trying to control the resistance on the band. So after about 10, then you're going to take a breather, and then we're going to finish with the follow through part of the swing. Now obviously we're going to be limited here because normally with the follow through would end up kind of lifting that right heel, but the band's going to come out here, so we're going to kind of work through the first half to 3/4 of the follow through swing. So again, just going to grab the band, play around with the tension, and then from there we're going to rotate up and over our left shoulder. Same principles apply. We're not going to let the hands snap back in. You can practice a little bit more rotation through, so really feeling it through that left hip, or we can go a little bit higher and you should feel that more left side of your lower back. Again, we're going to be limited by joint range of movement. Hopefully with those flexibility exercises, you should feel like you can get a little bit more rotation out. I want to go for 10. Right, so next exercise we're going to work on is trying to increase our kind of explosive power and our rotational forces by using our abdominals. So again, going to use the resistance band that we've been working with. Just need a door handle or something which you can fix it around. So I'm literally just going to loop it around and then match the two ends together. And then I just like to make a fist here with the left hand. I'm going to put the right hand on top, or vice versa. So make fist with the right, left hand goes on top. And you just want to play around with the resistance by either, so make it a little bit easier by going into the door, a little bit harder by going further away. You want to make sure the door handle doesn't fly off here because the missus might go a bit nuts. So we're going to start with shoulder width apart, and then from there we're going to try and keep the elbows locked out. We're going to try and accelerate through the movement, because again, if we're trying to think about increasing power through the swing, we need that really strong explosive part from the top of the backswing down into the impact phase and then follow through. So I'm just going to try and keep my hips roughly pointing straight ahead, and I'm going to rotate through the middle. I'm keeping the elbows locked out. So I think about 10. And if you feel like you're getting any problems with this, then I'll probably recommend just twisting a little bit more through the movement rather than keeping your feet planted. So I'll do about 10 with the feet planted, and then we'll go across to the other side. So this time I'm going to grab the band with the left hand, right fist goes over the top. We're trying to keep nice straight good foot position, and then we're going to try and explode through the movement. Yeah. So you should be starting to feel this. Good. So once we've done 10 with the feet nice and stable, we can then add in the final part, which is to start lifting the heel. Right, so the last exercise we're going to run through is an exercise which is quite good for a couple of things. So it's good for getting us into that start position that we're going to be for the golf swing. Helps us allow to set the pelvis in the right position, and then also work on the strength of our lats. So again, it's a pulling exercise, and the lats are a really important muscle in a golf swing, particularly as you come to the top of the swing. We're then using the lat to start the adduction of the arm, so that down phase of the movement. So if we can get the lat firing, we're going to be in a lot better position to create a bit more power. So you just want to put the band on the floor, feet shoulder width apart, grab the band, make a fist, and then just try and come up into a start position. Yeah, so slight bend in the knees, and with the pelvis here, so just try and, so 2 bony points of your pelvis, if you tip them forwards and then try and tip them all the way back, you'll find that's an exercise in itself, so you can just do that for a bit of start positioning. When you're happy with the position of the pelvis, we're going to perform a bent over row. So you keep them nice and strong, and then just try and draw the elbows up towards your waist here. Yeah. So we are pulling up, but we're not just pulling like this. I want you to try and almost end up with a 90-degree bend in your arms. So you should feel this in your lower back, see if you can keep your abdominals switched on here as well. If you switch off here, you're just going to arch down. So always keeping abdominals back fixed. And we'll go for about 10 times. You can add a slight pause at the end. And again, this is the kind of exercise where the light resistance band, maybe you need something heavier. But if you've just done the exercises I've done in the build up to this, you should be starting to feel like you've worked quite hard. So after 10, take a breather.